George Soros once said, "It's not whether you're right or wrong that matters, but how much money you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong." At first glance, it sounds like a lesson in risk management, but hidden inside those words is something far more profound. It's a philosophy that explains why George Soros never married his ego to an investment, and why that single habit helped him become one of the greatest investors in history. Most people don't lose money because they're unintelligent. They lose money because they fall in love with being right. They buy a stock, defend it against criticism, ignore warning signs, and convince themselves the market simply hasn't caught up yet. Their investment quietly transforms into part of their identity. Selling feels like admitting failure, and that's where the real losses begin. George Soros understood something that many investors never do. The market doesn't care about your pride. It doesn't reward confidence. It rewards adaptability. One of the defining moments of Soros's career came in 1992, when he famously bet against the British pound. The trade earned his fund more than $1 billion and earned him the nickname the man who broke the Bank of England. But what many people overlook isn't just the size of the win, it's the mindset behind it. Soros wasn't emotionally attached to the position. He constantly searched for evidence that could prove him wrong. If the facts changed, he was prepared to change with them. That willingness to abandon a losing idea before it became a disaster was just as important as recognizing a winning opportunity. This way of thinking is deeply connected to a concept Soros called reflexivity, the idea that markets are influenced not only by economic fundamentals, but also by the beliefs and actions of participants. In other words, markets are driven by human psychology as much as by numbers. If psychology shapes markets, then controlling your own psychology becomes a competitive advantage. That's why Soros treated every investment as a hypothesis, not a certainty. A hypothesis is meant to be tested. If the evidence no longer supports it, you revise it. You don't defend it out of pride. Imagine how different our financial lives would be if we approached decisions the same way. Instead of asking, "How can I prove I'm right?" we'd ask, "What evidence would convince me I'm wrong?" That simple shift can change everything. The lesson reaches far beyond investing. In business, clinging to an outdated strategy because you've already invested time and money can destroy a company. In careers, refusing to learn new skills because you're comfortable can leave you behind. Even in relationships, insisting on winning every argument often costs far more than admitting a mistake. The greatest performers in any field aren't the ones who are always right. They're the ones who recognize they're wrong quickly, learn faster than everyone else, and move forward without letting their ego get in the way. George Soros didn't become legendary because he could predict the future with perfect accuracy. He became legendary because he understood that certainty is an illusion, flexibility is a strength, humility is profitable, and the market has a way of humbling anyone who mistakes confidence for truth. The next time you're tempted to hold on to an investment simply because you've already committed to it, ask yourself one question: am I protecting my money or am I protecting my ego? The answer may determine not only your next investment, but the kind of investor you become.